Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 210 of the Auto Detailing Podcast. I am Jimbo, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 tips on how to maintain customer loyalty. How do you hold on to those customers that you work so hard for? This is going to be just a chat between me and you, me in your earbuds today. No guest today, but I came up with these 5 tips after someone who listens to the show had asked me, how do you maintain customer loyalty? How do you do that? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I developed 5 simple, easy tips that you can implement starting today, honestly. And if you continue to use these are tips that it's not the only way to do it, but probably my top 5, not probably, these are my top 5 tips in how I maintain such high customer loyalty. So let's get right into it. Number 1. Now, number 1 is tricky because a lot of people don't like to do this. A lot of people like to keep it separate, as they say. A lot of people say they don't care to do this. But again, we're talking about how to maintain customer loyalty. And again, customers that you've worked so hard to get are more valuable than customers that you don't have yet. There's not really an emphasis put on return customers and returning clientele, but this should be the bread and butter of your detailing operation. So number 1 is to get ingrained with your customer's life. Do they have kids? What kind of job do they do? Even if it's talking about their car, how is Billy's soccer game? Where are you going on vacation? What do you have going on this weekend? What'd you do last weekend? How is everything at work going? Now, you could pass this off as small talk, but this is by far the number 1 thing that I've used to really establish myself as more of a friend and go beyond that. I'm just a detailer who comes to wash the car once a week, once a month, whatever. I am constantly asking, what's going on with your son, your daughter? How did they get into college? Did they get the classes that they liked in high school? What issues are you going through? And I try and develop that personal relationship, that kind of not a friendship, but more than just the detailer, because this helps when they think about picking a different detailer, or if they decide to move on from you. It's that fear of, well, what if my next car wash guy's not like this, or whatever, or even if they in a pinch have to take their car to a car wash and they're not going to be getting the same service that you're providing them because you're constantly trying to ingrain yourself within their life. So me personally in my business, I'm constantly asking customers, hey, how's the family? That's an easy one. Any trips coming up planned this summer? Any trips coming up this winter? How about that Laker game? How about that Dodger game? How about that Angel game? How about that sports team you enter in the sports team there? If you're dealing with guys, of course, hey, did you catch the football game last night? What are you doing for Sunday Night Football? What are you doing for Monday Night Football? What are you doing for Thursday Night Football? And in doing this one thing, I've had customers talk about their children's suicidal thoughts, notes, and attempts at suicide. I've been given 4 seats to a sporting event about 3 rows up, 3 years in a row, might I add, from the same customer. I've been given $100 gift cards. I've been given all sorts of crazy stuff that you wouldn't really expect, you wouldn't really think, but I can attribute all this to getting ingrained with their customers, getting ingrained within my customers' lives and becoming more than just the detailer, but someone that they can confide in, someone that they can ask questions. We've talked a lot about becoming the resource for your customer as far as anything having to do with their car and beyond. So as you establish this relationship with your customer, they're going to start asking you, hey, where can I get my bumper repaired? Hey, where can I get my windows tinted? Hey, where can I do this? Where can I do this? Where can I take my wife for our anniversary tonight? Do you have any recommendations for dinner places that are fancy or high end? How about today? Something just happened to me. Hey, where should we go to lunch? Gave my client the recommendation. Boom, they went to lunch there. And it's all those easy, subtle things that you could really start to implement within your business that will help with retaining those customers, especially if you're starting to get into higher end services, coatings and such like. If you're good and you're building that rapport with your customers and getting ingrained within their life, they're going to start talking to their other friends. So it's another marketing tip for you guys as well, is to, by getting ingrained, you'll be top of mind with those people, with your clients, and they will talk. Number 2, follow up. You would be amazed at the response of a customer when you called them the next day after detailing their car and saying, hey, it's Jimbo. I just am following up with our detail yesterday. Wanted to see how you're enjoying your car. I wanted to follow up and make sure I got everything. Did you notice anything, any spots that I happen to miss? A lot of guys don't want to talk about how they miss spots sometimes. Hey, we're not all perfect all the time. There are spots that we miss on each vehicle. Following up with them on how your service was. And this could be anything from a simple car wash to a full correction in coating. And I would say it would be even more effective on the lesser services, because customers realize, hey, I'm only spending $40 or whatever. It's not that not that important. But if they receive that call the following day, wow, you are for sure going to be top of mind for them. And again, gives them another talking point when they are talking with their friends, colleagues, family members, what have you. So follow up with your customers. Again, something you can implement today, tonight, tomorrow. Following up with your customers on how their service was. And just a side note to that, on the follow-up, if they're not happy with something that that occurred in your service, it gives you an opportunity to fix it right then and there. Hey, let me come out later today and I'll fix it for you. Hey, let me, what can we do to make it right? I want to make you happy. How can I make it right? Also gives you an opportunity, if they're totally stoked on your service, to ask for a Yelp review. Can't tell you how many clients I get from them telling me, oh man, I just saw your Yelp reviews. Now, me personally, for my Yelp profile, for my personal business, I only have about 10 reviews because I never really ask for someone to go in and write a review. It's kind of awkward to ask in my book. Kind of runs that borderline of a little bit unprofessional. I know I don't like when people ask me to go online and write them a 5-star review, especially when their work's not 5-star material. So that's just my personal preference. But follow-up will net you a lot more online reviews. Ongoing communication would be number 3 on my list. And now this is anything from sending a card at Christmas time, which I've talked to a pretty good extent here on the show. Sending out Christmas cards with your family photos, even if your family only means you and your dog. That's fine. Get some pictures done, have some family members do your pictures, and print out a Christmas card from somewhere like Costco. Very inexpensive. Of course, you got to pay postage and get envelopes and stuff like that. Hand write out all the letters. But you should be keeping track of all your customers' addresses, because chances are you're going to their house. And this gives you a great opportunity to connect with some customers that maybe used you in January, February, March, earlier in the year, and then they get a Christmas card or a holiday card if you want. I send out Christmas cards, but you could do a holiday card. And then they get a holiday card from you maybe early December, mid-December, and then again you're top of mind. And again, you're becoming ingrained in their life, going back to number 1. But what about their birthdays? What if you ask the customer as you're detailing their car, hey, when's your birthday? You know, you're writing down what type of car they have, what type of service they're looking for, and then you ask, hey, when's your birthday? And it could be just a really off-the-cuff, passive, maybe they don't think anything above it. And then within your customer database, you just make a small note of, hey, their birthday is October 15th, or August 15th, or September 22nd, or November 22nd, or October 22nd. And you could just make a note of that, and then once a month you go through your customer database, your customer list, and see who has a month or a birthday in October. Now, my insurance agent does this every year to me and my whole family. We always get a birthday card saying happy birthday. Now, my one complaint that if I were to complain about this was try and make the card a little bit more customized. So really take a second and make your customer feel like that birthday card or that holiday card is kind of a one-off, and you actually thought about that. Don't just run down to the store, pick up a whatever birthday card, and then only sign your name. If you're going to go down to the store and you're going to get a generic card, maybe write a nice note in there. Hey, thanks again for letting us detail your blank, enter in the type of card they have here. We appreciate the opportunity to do that and look forward to your future business. Happy birthday, Jimbo. Another great idea. But ongoing communication to become top of mind and stay top of mind with your customers is another great opportunity and another great way to maintain customer loyalty. If you're always top of mind to them, why are they going to go elsewhere? If someone asks them, hey, do you know of any good car detailers around here? If you've just sent them a birthday card, if you've just sent them a holiday card, you're going to be top of mind. Now, some people will take what I would call the lazy route and just do email, right? Another thing with communication before I forget is, how about a handwritten thank you note? I did this recently for a customer way down in Australia. Sent a handwritten thank you note. I actually went and bought a very expensive card in my book because me personally, I'm not big on cards. I don't really like birthday cards. I don't care about that. But just because I don't doesn't mean other people don't. So I actually had about an hour Skype call with this person from Australia. Went to the store, bought a $10 card, a $10 thank you card, and hand wrote a thank you note and sent it off to that person to Australia to arrive about a week later. Now, could you imagine what that person, when they got that card, how stoked they would be? Because sure, they probably get 100 emails a day, but how many handwritten thank you cards do you think they get in the mail? So how about if you don't feel comfortable doing a phone call for follow-up, how about a handwritten thank you note? Now, it literally probably took me in total from purchasing the card and all that, maybe 20 minutes. Writing it, purchasing it, putting a stamp on it, sending it out, 20 minutes. But the effect that I know that card had on that person was well worth my 20 minutes and $10. I guess throw in a couple more bucks for postage. But ongoing communication would be my third step to creating customer loyalty. Number 4, freebies. Another thing people don't like to talk about. Giving away freebies. Customers eat this up. Everyone loves free stuff. Heck, you love free stuff because you're still listening to the show right now. And you probably have been listening to the show. So you love free stuff just as much as I love free stuff. And just as much as your customers love free stuff. Now, this could be simple things. How about you throw on a coat of wax? How about if you follow up with your customer and they weren't happy with something? How about you offer to come out and wax their other car, wash and wax their other car? I guarantee you they'll long forget about the mistake you made on their car. In fact, I know that because this is one strategy that I've implemented into my personal business, is that when I was doing cars at a larger office building that I no longer do because it wasn't becoming profitable for me, but what I would do is if I had a complaint, which only happened a couple times, but it happens, I told that person, hey, next week when I come back out there, not only am I going to fix my mistake and rewash your car for you and vacuum it. See, it didn't matter what my mistake was. Maybe I missed the windows. Maybe there was a part of the rim I didn't make. Maybe the tire shine sprayed all over the side of the car and they didn't like that. Maybe I sprayed a scent in the car and they don't like scents. It didn't matter what the issue was. I was always willing to rewash and vacuum the car and throw a coat of wax on it. And that by far, customers, you should hear the responses of customers. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You're going to wax my car? Because people can associate with wax. They know that wax is good for their car. So if you're willing to throw that on for them, or apply that for them, they're stoked. And think about it. They're assuming that you're using a paste wax. That's kind of the perception that people have, is that you're always going to be applying a paste wax that's going to take a long time. But they don't know about all the quick, shake and shine, sealers and all these easier to apply waxes and sealants. How about just a spray wax? You're still waxing the car, but you're just doing it with the spray wax. And if you're doing it with something like Meguiar Synthetic Express spray wax, you're probably already using that anyway. And people love that. Maybe the the roof or the trunk or the hood of the customer's car is a little rough. Maybe it's white and you can kind of see the fallout on it. What if you just clayed the hood only? Only the hood you clayed and waxed. And then you told your customer, hey, I noticed that your hood was feeling a little rough. I could see the contaminants in it. So I went ahead and clayed it for you. And obviously take your customer over there and let them feel how smooth it is, how much better it is. And that may even lead to, a tip, a monetary tip. And maybe they will want to do the whole car. And then that'll lead to more work. Again, it's staying top of mind. It's doing extras for your customers. It's going over and beyond what the normal detailer is going to do. And this is going to not only make brand loyalty to you, it's not only going to keep your customers loyal to you, but it's another side effect of this is going to be you're going to be able to charge more money because you're delivering more value to the customer. See, that's what it all comes down to, is the customer has to see the value in which you're providing. And all these steps, from getting ingrained within the customer's life, again, bringing value to them. Some people just want to rant, and they just want someone to listen to them. You could be that. To the follow-up, you're providing value in the follow-up and willing to come back and fix any mistakes or just get a compliment. The ongoing communication. They don't expect a birthday card. They don't expect you to give them a holiday card or a Christmas card. They don't expect that. Do you really think their landscaper does that? No. They just think, oh, that guy comes every Tuesday and he's done. Do you think they expect it from the pool guy? No. And guess what? Chances are those people aren't doing it either. Again, gives you another chance to stand out from the crowd. Freebies, everyone loves freebies. You do too. I see you at Costco getting all those samples. You love freebies. And number 5 is probably should be number 1. Number 5 is number 1 in my book. I probably said that about a couple of the other ones, but it is by far the most important. If you only picked up one of these, it's to be this. It's to do my number 5. And I'm sure there may be additional ones on here that I didn't think about, but that's okay. I wanted to nail them down to these top 5. But if you take anything away from this, our chat today, our conversation today, it's this. Number 5, be the best there ever was. That by far better than any marketing approach you have, better than any every door direct mailer that you have, better than any flyer, any business card, any of the previous 4 steps that I've been talking about. If you're the best they've ever had, if you're the best detailer they've ever experienced, which I believe, honestly, encapsulates the 4 previous points that I made. It's not just solely about your work, but how you conduct yourself, how you look, how you follow up, how you communicate, how you get ingrained. It's a culmination of all these things wrapped up together, how you deliver on your service, how you speak with the customer, how their car looks after you're done with it. Be the best detailer they've ever had, ever. And it could be simple stuff like showing up on time. Maybe, you know what, maybe you're not the best at windows right now. Maybe you're not the best at paint correction right now. Maybe you're not the best at pick your battle. But you can show up every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And can I tell you how much value that brings to a customer when they don't have to worry about their car being cleaned on Wednesday when they, are off for the week? I guess that wouldn't make too much sense. But let's say Friday. If they're expecting you to show up every Friday because they like a clean car on the weekend, and you actually do show up every Friday at the time that you said, that's going to negate a little bit of mistakes that you may make here or there. And your customer will actually tell you if you're making any mistakes versus just cut you off completely if they can rely on you every Friday. Because a lot of people just will stop showing up. That's just the reality of it. I still to this day get a ton of calls from people that just have, from new customers whose old detailer had just simply stopped showing up. In fact, I got a client just recently. I go there every week. It's a couple $100 every single week for one customer, and they lost their old detailer because he couldn't show up. Now that's $800 a month, every single month, that I'm getting from this one customer because their previous detailer couldn't show up anymore. Or he'd say he'd be there on Saturday, wouldn't show up on Saturday. They'd call him, he'd say, "Oh, I'll be there next Monday." He wouldn't show up on Monday. And it only took a few weeks of this till the customer was completely over it. Now, was that detailer better than me? I don't know. Could be, could have not have been. But I'll tell you what, I'm there every week at the time that I say I am, and they have no complaints, pay me every week, and it's glorious for both of us. So before we wrap it up here today, let's go over the top 5 ways to maintain customer loyalty. Number 1, get ingrained with your customer's life. Number 2, follow up. Number 3, ongoing communication always. Number 4, freebies. And number 5, be the best detailer they've ever had. Think about when you go experience another service, if that's the best oil change you've ever had in your whole entire life because they didn't try to upsell you on anything and they just actually changed your oil and charged you what they said they were going to charge you, you're going to rant and rave about that. If you go to a restaurant and you have the best service you've ever had, you're going to rant and rave about that and maybe even write a review. And quite the contrary, if you have bad service, that's all you're going to talk about. I'm constantly looking at or realizing bad service when I'm out, and it's really kind of a buzzkill when you have someone who offers bad service instead of good, and it doesn't take that much extra effort to provide good service versus bad service. Go out there this week and kill it. Implement some of these things. And let me know what you think. Write me a Facebook message if you've implemented any of these, and let me hear the result and what it's done to your business. This week's sponsor for the Auto Detailing Podcast is Google AdWords for the modern auto detailing business at autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, or maybe you're just starting your detailing business and your website doesn't quite rank high enough in a Google search for keywords like auto detailing and the such like, you're going to want to head over to autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. Because I'm going to show you exactly how to get your site to rank higher in Google searching, how to put, honestly, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in your pocket every single month in addition to what you're already making. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to do paid advertising. For as little as $40, one student made over $1,000. How about, do you have $3 extra per day that you could be using for advertising expense. With $3 a day, I had another student net over $1,300 one month. That means he spent maybe $90 in ad spend for the whole month and made $1,300. I think that's an investment that we would all make. So head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. Get that training done today and seriously take your business to the next level. That's autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. We'll see you on the inside. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com for full show notes and links of everything that we've talked about today. And don't forget to check out our resources page for a direct link to all the products talked about not only on today's episode, but that I use in my day-to-day detail business. They have direct links so you can purchase and get free shipping right from that page. That's autodetailingpodcast.com. We'll see you on the next episode.